love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared. Back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared.
Hello and welcome. Well, it is the start of Season 2 of the SRL Friday Night GT4 League. And who can wait? I can't wait for this one. We've already seen from the media day 2 weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring that there was great action, drama, excitement, right from the green flag through to the checkered. And tonight we visit Okayama, and I don't think it's going to be any different whatsoever. A circuit that's two halves, really. You've got the fast flowing nature of the first half of the circuit, then it gets really tight and technical. And that's going to be a bit of a challenge for our drivers out there. But what a season we have got in store for you here on the SRL YouTube channel. Of course, Okayama, as I mentioned tonight, then in 2 weeks' time we head to Brands Hatch, then Summit Point Raceway, into Lagos in Brazil, on the all-time classic circuits. That's going to be nice and wide, plenty of overtaking opportunities there. I don't doubt. Alton Park, the true iconic British national circuit. I love that place. It's going to be a great evening of racing from there, and then we're going to round out the season back where we started in Japan, but that time it'll be at Fuji on the new circuits 2i Racing, and it's going to be all about the slipstream down there, the long start-finish straight. But let's get hyped for Okayama. Here we go. Well, as mentioned, we are live from Okayama. What can we say about this great place? I am Tim Cox, your host. I'll be here for the whole season covering this league. You can see qualifying, it's well underway. So just about to kick in. So let's head trackside and see how the drivers are getting on. You see some laps starting to come in already. And who is going to take the first pole position of the season? Well, it could go absolutely anyway, potentially. But your initial bets surely have got to be on the likes of Turtle, really. I mean, 2 wins from 2 last time out. I think he's got to be a bit of a favourite, potentially. And don't discredit this guy. He had a cracking battle last time out to Dan Mould. Where will he come tonight? Picked up 2 places in, sorry, 2 second places, apologies, in the Media Day event. Here's the guy in the Aston Martin. Arthur Turtle. 2 wins from 2 last time out. Can he repeat that in the first round proper of the season? Well, we haven't got long to find out. There we go. Alpha Henriksen. Donny Alpha Henriksen in the Mercedes, setting your provisional pole time. Nice the time to beat at 136.1. Look how close it is between myself and Tom Jenkins. Just cutting to him as he runs a little bit wider. Ronenberg just popping across the line there to take away provisional pole. Well, I say that, it's Anthony Mayat displacing him by half a tenth of a second. That's all we're dealing with here. We don't do seconds, we don't do tenths, we do half a second, half a tenth even here in the SRL GT4 League. Have a chat, you know, amongst the drivers during the Discord in the week. Yeah, it's plenty of banter going on, plenty of anticipation and excitement of the season ahead of us. Let's see, Cox, another of the Mercedes runners. This Mercedes and GT3 has been ever so dominant with its being the new car to iRacing. That's Wareham putting a quality lap there from him. Go 5 thousandths of a second slower than Ronenberg. And our top 3 right now, the 2 Mercedes and the Aston of Maya, Ronenberg and Wareham respectively. 6 hundredths of a second separates our top 3. That is how close, that is how competitive things are here in Japan. I don't doubt it's going to be any different as Henriksen on a bit of an improving lap. He goes across the line to get himself up into the second row of the grid. Let's take you through the format. Of course, the drivers have got 3 laps. It's lone qualifying here in this league. Before we have the first of 2 20-minute heat races. Falls down through the order. Laps coming in. Derek Crowther, good lap from him. I tell you what, Mark Brown, the best at qualifying. He's had all his lap times to lead. As see Turtle head to the top of the timing sheets with 134.7. Great lap from him on his second lap out. He's got another lap to complete as well. Dan Mould heads up into 4th. So not Mayat. The second row of the grid. It's frightening just how competitive the laps are here. So yet to set times, a long go in the McLaren. Brown and Linton both in the Mercedes. David Smith in the McLaren. Ryan Patton, the American, in the Porsche Cayman. And Fraser Geraghty. There he is in the Insignia. Near called it McLaren there. Mercedes, in fact. GT4. Let's give it by its full name. The Mercedes GT AMG GT4. Not sure if you can fit any more A's or G's or T's into that name. So we've got an improving laps. Times coming in left, right, and centre. And there is our provisional pole sitter. It's on a bit of an improving lap. John Brown on an improving one. He's currently down in 18th, and wow, that's good enough for 7th from him. Great lap from the McLaren driver as Hussein pips Vettel to provisional pole, but here comes Vettel across the line. Is it going to be an improving time? Let's find out from him. No, he goes slower. And that is qualifying done and dusted for him. Mayat, he's coming across the line. Looks like he's abandoning that lap, definitely, for sure. No improvement for him. Practicing his starts. It's going to be so crucial to get away as Johnson comes across the line. You can see him improve from 27th. No, goes marginally slower by 0.08 of a second than his previous best. So he remains down in 27th. 3 drivers yet to set times. Ryan Patton, Gary Linton and Dave Smith both having their all 3 times deleted, so they'll be starting from the back of the grid. So let's see if we can hopefully pick up Ryan Patton in the Porsche Cayman GT4 coming around the final corner. Named the last corner here in Okayama, and are we going to see an improvement from him as he cuts the time beam? Well, if you get a lap time on the board, it'll be an improvement, but there you wow, right at the death, the American gets himself up onto the 3rd row of the grid in spectacular fashion. Well, talk about leaving it late, but all it takes is 1 lap. And talking of 1 lap, look, he's on an improving map mold. In the Mercedes, currently 4th, 2nd row of the grid, had a purple sector 2. So that means he's in the fastest of anyone. 4 sectors here in Okayama. As he comes out of the final corner, is he going to move up? And by how much by? Surely if he can carry this momentum across the line, it's an improved time. But only good enough just to move himself up 1 place, slight delay on the timing sheet there, 1:34.95. So he will start from 3rd. It looks like at the moment there's only Elliot James left to complete his lap as he's coming across the line. Let's see what he manages to do. He's down in 24th at the moment. It's the Aston Martin driver. And yeah, moves up a place. He'll be happy with that one. Up into 23rd. I'm sure he'll be really happy with that one. The Insignia driver. Yes. Qualifying pretty much done and dusted here. Just waiting for the last few drivers come across the line, and we'll be moving across into race 1. As mentioned, 20-minute race here. And what a cracker it's going to be, I'm sure. So action hotspots to look out for are going to be turn 1. The ironically named first corner here in Okayama. And then it's going to be all about who can get the best exit out of Atwood Curve, turn 4, that long run down the back straight to the hairpin, where we're going to see plenty of action. Oh, that's definitely going to be an exciting place on the first coming lap. So let's take you through your first grid of the season. Well, it is Navid Hussein who takes your provisional pole, takes pole, in fact, with Arthur Thurtle. And as we mentioned, won both the races last time out at the Red Bull Ring. He joins him on the front row. Dan Mould has Eric Ronenberg. 2nd and 3rd place finishes in both of the races last time out. So together on the 2nd row. Anthony Mayat. He's got Ryan Patton, who just squeezed in with his last lap of the race to get himself up onto the 3rd row of the grid. Daniel Wareham. He's got John Brown for company of Simulation Racing League with Andrew Levesley. And Donny Alpha Henriksen of Northside Racing. Running out your top 10 and your 5th row of the grid. Moving through, 6th row of the grid, Fraser Alexander, Derek Crowther, and then Alan McCain. He's got Peter Bryan for company. Craig Walters, he starts in 15th with Toby Steed. And 9th row of the grid, it's Tom Jenkins and Al Brown. Steve Cox and Ryan Dudley's going to run out the top 20 and 10th row of the grid with Mark Brown and Neil Stevenson of Norn Iron Racing and Ignium Motorsport, respectively. It's on the 11th row. Elliot James, he's got Fraser Geraghty for company. This driver's just forming up behind the Porsche 911 safety car right now. Well, he starts to head off. With Elliot James and Fraser Geraghty, said about them on the 12th row of the grid. 13th row is Daniel Lewis. He's got Paul Cugley for company. So the lone BMW driver. We love a good underdog, don't we? How far can he come through the field? Alexandre Longo, the lone Frenchman in the field. You see the flash of the lights going on there. Everyone excited to get away. In the background, he's got John Johnston for company. on the penultimate row grid with Gary Linton and David Smith. That's going to round out your 30 car field here for round 1 and race 1 of the season. As there come the lights and we move away. Who will come out on top? Who's going to take that first victory in the season? Love to hear from you as always over in the chat on YouTube. And we've had Jamie Dengle. He's hyped to see a Dudley win. Keep an eye on him. Ryan Dudley currently starting from 20th position. Just catch him there in the Mercedes. And many Mercedes runners here we've got in the league. Where will he come? How many places can he climb? Place your bets now. As Andrew Lovesley didn't make the grid, but we're coming round and let's get ready to go racing for the first time this season as Hussein controls the pace and he's leaving it late, really backing up the field here as we are green, 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 and we are away racing as the field fans out, and there's contact in the background there. There's 3 cars off. Elliot James, one of the drivers, caught up in that one, and with everyone else pretty much making it round. There is one spinner at the background there. I think that might be an Elliot James who's come off track potentially. But the front crew making it through. But I tell you what, Tom Jenkins, he's really capitalised. He's already up 9 places into 8th. There he goes, the Welshman of Track Limit Racing. Definitely lots coming to the track limits here. Top 6 all remain as they started. No, that's Fraser Alexander. He's off through outward onto the inside. Cold tyres not helping him out whatsoever as they stream down the back straight for the first time on the run down to the hairpin, throwing out the anchor, and pretty much everyone remaining as they are at the moment in our top 6. One long train. I'll tell you what, Jenkins, the man on the move, he's now up 10 places. He is making while the sun is shining here. Something's happened in the background. Alexander's losing a couple of places there. Paul Clutchley said about watching out for him. The lone BMW, he's up 8 places as well. One of the drivers really able to capitalise from that. It's instance on the opening laps. Alan McCain, another driver caught up in that one, the Mercedes driver. This is as tight as you dare. Up at the front, well, pretty much across the whole field. Lots of yellow interval time, sorry. Indicating there between a second and half a second in their gap. They're orange. That means they're under half a second, and there's plenty of oranges there. As we've got having a bit of a look back through the field. Walters trying to apply a bit of pressure in the Porsche against Steed ahead of him. SRL driver there. Pushes his way through the field. Tell you what, Daniel Lewis, we've had 3 big gainers. Oh no, something's happened to Cox. He's off the Mercedes driver. That's out of Williams, and he's going to have to sit and wait for the whole field to come through before he can wait for a gap to emerge. Something's happened to Maya, I think, potentially, or it might be a disconnection issue for him, not too sure. So, you can see in the background there, flashing of the lights as the field is really compact and being held up by, that's Peter Bryan, I think there, yeah, and the Aston Martin. It's Derek Crowther and John Brown vying for position, scrapping away. I'll take the ticket to former Q to try and get past Bryan, but in doing so, that's allowing Bryan to get away. Crowther now up into 9th, but coming under pressure because Ryan Dudley right behind him. He's right in the mix. Here's the Mercedes driver there in the number 44 machine. John Brown just in front of them. As the leaders come across the line, your early leaderboard. Hussein leads from Fertel. Aston Martin 1-2. Then it's the 2 Mercedes of Mould and Ronenberg. Ryan Patton into 5th place. Tom Jenkins into 6th, up an incredible 11 places. That is a cracking way to kickstart your season for the Welshman of Track Limit Racing. Wareham just behind him in 7th, and Peter Bryan. There's 3 Aston Martins there. There is Bryan. He's got Derek Crowther not too far behind him. John Brown is taking him around out your top 10, but he is being harassed and harried right now by Ryan Dudley. His biggest riser is this guy, Daniel Lewis, in the McLaren. He's up 12 places already. There's a bit of action happening in the background there. So that's Longo, the Frenchman, trying to finding his way past Fraser Alexander. Not able to do so. Into that with, oh, there was a spinner there. I didn't quite catch who that was. That might have been Alan McCain potentially. Yes, it was. Not having the best of starts here. As it is game on in that midfield as Fraser Alexander. You see him in the Aston Martin there. Oh, almost into the back of Cugley. So round the hairpin. Different lines as well. Donny Alfa Henriksen in the background there. The Mercedes, the black Mercedes, number 66 machine. Trying to recover back up through the field. One of the ones caught up in that first lap incident. Nearly ran in the back there of Longo in the McLaren. Let's see where Alfa Henriksen just trying to open up the corners, trying to get the best possible run to mount an attack. As he's saying, he's got pedal to the metal. Never knew fastest lap of the race. Those times are already going to come down though. As we progress through the race, fuel starts to burn off. This is nice side-by-side action here. Walters, the inside of Lewis, who had no real answer for him in the end. However, Walters on the fight back. Sorry, Lewis on the fight back. Apologies there. They ran out of the first corner up towards Williams. What can he do? So let's take a little look back to the start of exactly what happened. So there is Elliot James. Let's see what he gets on. Oh, there you go. He was the innocent bystander. He got a brilliant run. And there was just contact made there. Let's see, this is a bit more in the midfield there, but back as Cugley now under attack. Got his elbows out there against Alexander. That orange Aston Martin in front of him. It's the Mercedes and the Aston both showing exactly the same V8 powertrain even. Well, excited there as Alfa Henriksen up the inside into Redmond corner. Gets the move done. No fight back from Cugley. He's gonna, oh no, there's contact there. And around he goes. Not the start that he would have been hoping for to the season. He's 6 minutes in. After that great start from Paul Cugley. It's all gone a bit wrong for him. So looking back to the start. Let's take another look. So there you go. That's where it all kicked off with Al Brown. And it was well held from him. As he just managed to keep it going there. Well, let's take a look back at what happened to Alfa Henriksen. So got a bit tight. Just got tagged. Maybe even a bit of netcode there. So came into Atwood for the first time. That's what sent him off. But I tell you what, this midfield battle is absolutely scintillating right now. Fraser Alexander heading it up. Daniel Lewis. Alfa Henriksen going to head up the inside of Lewis. And that is the move done. Bolt on the brakes. The Dane being the last of the late breakers. Separates out this group a little bit. But I'll say that Lewis is now under attack for Steed behind him. Mercedes F1 inspired livery there. Not, of course, their glory's not so much this season though in Formula 1, but I see it's all about GT4, and what an exit off the corner there from Steed. Are we going to see him move into the first corner? He needs to really line things up out of the last corner. Here we go. In the slipstream. Right on board with Toby Steed right now. That is Lewis in the McLaren in front of us. He has a bit of a look up the inside. Thinks against it. Let's see, Derek Crowther. He's coming under a little bit of pressure right now from John Brown. Still over 9th place right now. So head out of Atwood. Down the back straight, and then look at the amount of pressure Crowther is going under. He knows it. He's gone defensive to the inside. Brown just trying to mind punt him now, trying to force him offline to set up a corner. His best chance really be on doing that. If you can't get the move done into the hairpin, it's realistic out Piper corner. This is Revolver. The next corner is Piper. They've got a short straight to Redmond corner, but it's going to be too far back, and Crowther of Insignia Racing, it's going to be to fight another day for now, but with that pressure mounting for him, how long will it last? Let's just see, Ronenberg, of course, picked up 2 third places in the media day. Now, down in 4th, and Patton potentially trying to displace his fellow countryman from that 4th place right now. Another new fastest lap of the race from Naveed Hussain, our leader in the Aston Martin, 134.76. 300ths of a second slower than Thurtle's best lap. Those two really trading as Ronenberg just slight little blink there, slight disconnection issue. It's not going to be helping Patton at all. Thanks to the mind games, but it's a little bit like further down the straight. That's Wareham. See him there in this 73 machine, just trying to find a way past Jenkins. Our second highest position gainer is the Welshman in 6th place. He's up 11, started down in 17th. Amazing stuff. Only eclipsed by the McLaren of David Smith of SRL. He's up 12 places, but Steed still trying to find a way past him. And right now, it's seeming like Smith is becoming a bit of a roadblock, as this could be the move. Wow, getting a bit loose, a bit Larry there from Steed. It's a slow speed part of the circuit. He'll be able to click that back up together. But all it is doing is backing them up into Brown and Garrity. You see the 2 Mercedes behind him. Paul Cugley, oh, once again, not the best of exits. That's not going to help Smith at all. This is all happening a bit behind him as well. And a real sloppy exit there. It's going to allow them to start tripping up over one another. That's going to give Lewis and Smith a bit of breathing space that they may well have wanted. Especially as they come out onto lap 8 now. We're 11 3/4 minutes out of 20 in race 1. It's been a bit of a quiet race out in front. As oh no, that's a spinner in the background there. That was Toby Steed. Oh, and he's going to park the car and head to the pits. Not what he would have wanted. And it's been all about either big gains or big losses in race 1. Of course, Brown, McCain, James and Myatt, all victims of the first lap carnage. Just no, Dudley's lost it. Oh, and he's going to be sat waiting there for a while to rejoin. There's a bit of a gap for him to re-enter now into 15th. He's lost a lot of time and a lot of places because of it. There's been a bit of contact there. That's Al Brown, and that's Daniel Lewis, I think, behind him. It is indeed. What has happened between those guys? Let's see if we can try and find out for you. So here we go. We look down at Lewis. Oh, there we go. Just made the contact. And Lewis into Brown. And what was a really strong race for Lewis is all starting to fall apart. And it's really becoming the race of attrition here in Japan in race 1. As we focus in now on this battle for 8th place. Actually 7th even. As there's Wareham, Bryan and Crowther. Down the back straight, trying to get into the slipstream. So crucial in these cars. And then it's who dare be the last of the late breakers into the hairpin. And a bit of a wide line from Wareham there. Just Seemed like he got on the brakes a little bit too late, ran it in a bit too deep. He's managed to fend off the advances of Crowther for now, because Crowther in that Porsche Cayman is right all over the back of him. Insignia racing driver. As he looks left. Looking for the cutback now as we head through Hobbs Corner into Mike Knight. And this run, short run down towards the last corner. Who's going to get the best exit out of here? Aston Martin, Porsche and McLaren all dueling it out down the start-finish straight. And I tell you what, is that John Brown pushing Crowther to try and push him past the Aston Martin of Brian. So look that way as they headed from that camera angle, as they headed down the start-finish straight. For now, they remain as they were, but bet you bottom dollar as we start to close in on the race ending. With 5 minutes left, those elbows are going to get, not just come out, they're going to be sharpened. Something's happened to Cox. Let's take a look at what's happened to him. Oh, caught the coil inside grass on the inside the corner of Revolver. Like the spinning barrel on a Revolver. Around he goes. It's out in front. It's been relatively quiet. It's been all about these fights down in the midfield. Let's take a look at see what's happening a bit further up the field. Jenkins under a bit of pressure from Wareham. Head through Hobbs into My Knight. Can he hold on? I mean, what a way to kickstart your season. Himself up into 6th. I'm started down in 17th. Likewise, Neil Simpson, someone we haven't really mentioned so far too much. He's also up 11 places into 11th. So you see the fight going on in the background there, the one we were just watching previously between Brian Crowther and Brown. Changing for positions. No. Crowther just unable to find a way past. Needs to dig deep because time is running around. The clock is ticking down. In race 1, 3.5 minutes left in your clock. Who's going to come out on top? It's Dudley locked into a bit of a battle here with Andrew Lovesey. Oh, and right round the outside there. From the Aston Martin. That's going to give him the inside line up in towards Adwood for the England Motorsport driver, but that looks like it's done and dusted. But what sort of fight back has Dudley got in the Mercedes? As mentioned earlier, these cars have got exactly the same engine in them. This all comes down to driver performance. And look at the defensive line early on from Lovesley there. As Dudley looks to go right round the outside into the hairpin. He's holding on for dear life if he can keep his nose in. He would have had a chance into Revolver, but just can't quite manage it and has to tuck the car back into 16th place. You see Smith in the background. I think he's going to be a bit too far back to catch up into this battle, but well, he'll be there if his opportunity presents to him. So action up and down the field, Roneberg. So just ahead of his fellow countryman Patton. A battle for 4th. 6 tenths to the second separating those two. Another of the battles we've got Brian, Crowther and Brown. Just won't leave each other alone. It's all been a bit of nicey so far as no. So what's happened to David Smith? Let's take a bit of a look. We look down from a helicopter and all gets it out wide into the gravel and can't quite get it turned in. Just a, well, how did he hold that onto that one around the last corner? Great bit of driving from him. As we see Fraser Alexander now with Walters and Stevenson just ahead of him. Walters defensive incredibly early on down the back straight. Have they outbrake themselves? Well, I tell you what, look at that from the Aston of Alexander. Can't quite get it turned in time to hold on It's going to have to turn back in, but these are the sort of adventurous moves that you need to pull here in Okayama to gain places. As they head up. Very slight bit of a hill here towards Redmond Corner. This tricky complex of left, right from Redmond, Hobbs, Mike Knight. And then pretty much the last corner comes instantly straight at you. At least that's what it feels like in the car. This is the cross line, they come out onto lap 13. I tell you what, the white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. And there is your leader, Naseed Hussein, on course to take the first victory of the season. Just needs to bring the car home now. And that honour will go to him. Still up for grabs in the midfield as Alexander still desperately trying to find a way past Walters in these dying stages. Stevenson will be happy to see these two dueling it out in his mirrors, because it means that he'll give him an advantage to at least hold on to that 11th place as they head down the back straight for the final time. As Walter's still defensive, Alexander goes for the bigger lunge. Can he hold on? No, he can't. That's going to be done and dusted for him. There's few overtaking opportunities left now, but coming round the final corner, there is your victor in race 1 with the first victory of the season here in Okayama. Is Naveed Hussein. Congratulations to you. Arthur Thurtle coming home in 2nd place to make it a 1-2 for Aston Martin. Mould picks up 3rd place. There he is, as he's coming across the line. They're still having a good go at another. Brian, Brown, Crowther and Brown, but they're going to finish as they've pretty much been for the last few laps. As in the background there, they're all having a go. Stevenson, is he going to lose a place right at the line? Because I tell you what, Walters, he gave it a good shot there, but wasn't able to quite do it. And I tell you what, Hendrickson closed right in at the line too. What a recovery from him. There's a couple of places still left to be decided. In race 1, wow, what a way to kickstart the season here on the SRL YouTube channel. Love to know your thoughts over in chat. What a drive from some of our drivers. I mean, Smith, there he is in the barrier, but wow, what a rest and serve he gets. Up 12 places. A great start for him. And let's not forget, I mean, Brian did so well to hold off for so long. Jenkins up 10 places into 7th. Stevenson up 11 into 11th. Let's not forget, we've still got 5 more rounds left to go. As we just head across into the warm-up session, let's bring you up your results for race 1. As there we are. Naveed Hussein taking first victory of the season. Vettel 2nd, Mould in 3rd. With Ronenberg in the end. Double podium last time out in the media day, but only good enough for 4th today. Ryan Patton, great start from him into 5th. Daniel Wareham finishes 6th in the Aston Martin. Jenkins, I mentioned, up 11 places. Great start for him for Track Limit Racing. He finishes in 7th. Brian, Crowther and Brown, they're going to round out your top 10 with Stevenson in 11th. Walters 12th for SRL. Fraser Alexander, half spin, cost him a bit dearly. Likewise, Alpha Henriksen as well in those opening laps. That instant he had, where could he have finished? That is the big question. Finishes down in 14th in race 1. Love to see 15th with Ryan Dudley. Ryan Dudley fan club in the chat. They're going to be happy with that one, surely. With their driver. 16th in race 1. Garrity 17th. Smith finishes in 18th with Al Brown and Paul Cudgley. BMW driver, running out your top 20. Longo, Lewis and Johnson, they're going to round up to 23rd place. And the first two drivers to finish on the lead lap, with Linton and Brown, the two non-iron racing drivers, finishing one lap down, 24th and 25th respectively for those two. Alan McKay and Team Matrix in 26th. Elliot James, 27th. 28th was Toby Steed. That's going to round out your field. Apologies, it's not, because I've missed off Steve Cox, who we lost 6 laps ago, and Anthony Meyer, who we lost on the opening lap. Unfortunately, another driver to watch out for in race 2. As we head into this bit of an intermission now between the two races. Let's talk Okayama. Of course, it sprang to prominence in the 1990s as an early pioneer of the membership club approach taken by other sporting venues. Not least because its builder was a golf course magnate. It makes a bit of sense, really, doesn't it, when you think about it? The call for racing events proved hard to ignore on the circuit in its early guise as Toyota circuit even made it as far as the Formula 1 calendar. Twice, in fact, hosting the Pacific Grand Prix before concentrating on national events, where this circuit is much loved and known for in these days. And I think that narrowness, like we see from a lot of the British national circuits, lends to it nicely. Now, change of ownership brought with it a name change in 2005, and several years later, a return of world-class motorsport, this time in the guise of the World Touring Car Championships. Now, today, the circuit continues to host a host of major domestic series on 2 and 4 wheels, including Super Formula, Super GT, and the Japanese Superbike Championships. Of course, this rated as a FIA Grade 2 circuit, so not a million miles off from being able to host F1. That's, of course, goes to circuits that have FIA Grade 1 accreditation. But what a season we have got ahead for you. I had the feeling, I don't know about yourselves, over in chat from the media day, that this could be a bit of a, sleeping giant in terms of series and excitement, drama that it would bring to us. And well, I think we've already seen from race 1 that definitely that is going to be the case. Are we going to see another victory? Of course, we have got from Havid, because we have got, of course, reverse grids in race 2. So this is where it gets that little bit more challenging for our drivers, because to secure 2 victories, you've got to fight your way through, and most likely you need to work with the cars who finished around you in race 1 to make your way through the field. Or are we going to see maybe one of the drivers who, might struggle a bit during race 1 for that race pace, or have a bit of an incident that, pulls them out of contention for a victory? Because that's going to give them a really strong chance of victory in race 2. We can see a good underdog victory. Oh, we've got plenty of chance across the season. Now, for myself, we've got 2 visits to the UK in the form of Brands Hatch next time out in 2 weeks' time on 12th of August. 26th of August, we head to Summit Point Raceway. My good friend, commentary friend, Greg Ginsberg, is the circuit announcer there. He absolutely loves that place. Well, I think he's got to, hasn't he? Interlagos in race 4, Alta Park in race 5. Do you love that place? And Brands Hatch as well. Maybe it's just the bias in me. With Fuji, that's going to round out the calendar all the way on the 7th of October. But let's take a look at your grid here for race 2. The drivers line up. So, Lovezy will take Paul with Donny Alfa Henriksen. Redemption time for him. He's going to start in the front row with Lovezy. Alexander, he's got Craig Walters for company. Neil Stevenson, he goes up 11 places in race 1. Starts from 5th in race 2 with John Brown joining him on the 3rd row. Derek Crowther and Peter Bryan on the 4th row of the grid with Tom Jenkins and Daniel Wareham. They're going to run out your 10th, the top 10 and 5th row of the grid. Ryan Patton, he's got Eric Ronenberg for company, an all-American row there in row 6. Row 7, that is Dan Bold and Arthur Vertel. Naveed Hussein, race 1 winner, starts from 15th with Ryan Dudley alongside him. Fraser Garrity and David Smith making row 9 with Al Brown and Paul Cugley up to 20th and the 10th row of the grid. Alexandre Longo. There's Daniel Lewis for company in the McLaren. John Johnston, Gary Linton, row 12 with Mark Brown, Alan McCain, Elliot James, Toby Steed and Steve Cox and Anthony Martin. That's going to round out your grid in race 2. So they'll make their way behind the Porsche 911 safety car. There is your leader in the Aston Martin of Ignium Motorsport, Andrew Lovesley. Donny Alkers Henriksen on the outside alongside him. Is he going to leave it late like Havid did? No, he hasn't. He's gone for it, and he's gone for it early and caught everyone napping. And look at the Porsche. Craig Walters just had to back out of it a little bit on the race down to turn 1. We go 3 wide here. Who's going to come out on top while swooping through is Walters. Alexander had to back out of it a little bit in those early stages. As we all make it through Williams right now on the run down to Atwood curve. Here comes your leader, Lovesley, followed by Alpha Henriksen, but he is under a lot of pressure right now because Walters is in full attack mode as the field stream through. And down the back straight, here we go. Who is going to be the last of the late breakers? Because it is that battle for second where it's truly game on right now. And Craig Walters is a man on fire. Something's happened to Elliot James. I can see a bit of smoke in the background down the back end of the straight coming out of Atwood. But on the attack and losing another place there. It's Alexander. No, apologies, that was against Walters, who was trying to get around the outside. Couldn't get it done. Not seen anyone being able to do that so far yet. It's all something's happened to Meyer. Let's take a look. So he started well down at the back. Has he lost this by himself potentially? Oh no, we've had a big pile up there. So something's happened in front of him. Well, let's see if we can find out what exactly caused all that. Well, there's Steed. Is he going to arrive at the scene? Yes, it's already happened. Look, there's 5 of them all bunched together. Let's see if we can try. Well, that's already happened there. Here we go. Might be able to eventually get it. So there is Ryan Dudley. He was one of the cars caught up in it. Oh, there's a lunge up the inside, and there you go. That's what kick-started it all. That was, I'm trying to catch who that was. Number 212. That was Alan McCain. He started that all off. We'll see if we get a better angle for you at a later stage. Let's just pick up the racing right now. As there is, well, Brown elbows out against Toby Steed, squeezing him out wide. It's Lovesley still leads from Alpha Henriksen. After redemption, that Mercedes, after that poor start in race 1, 3 different manufacturers in your top 3 with the Porsche of Walters. After that electric start from him, was really on the ball. Come the restart. They've got Brown behind him. Alexander, Brian, Crowther, Mould, Ronenberg, Hussein. He's already up 5 places into 10th. Ryan Patton still down in 11th where he started. So let's see if we can get another look at exactly what happened. Here we go. So there is McCain at Team Matrix. I think he just missed his braking marker because he made a big late lunge up the inside, couldn't get the car started in time, and that's what caused the spins. The 5 cars locked together there. There we go. That is how it all happened. You see Crowther there really pushing hard right now. Mould right around the outside, trying to find a way through, but he needs to be careful because there's Ronenberg. He's going to slip it up the inside. Mould completely caught napping and unawares there. Great little move from the American. That pink liveried Mercedes. It's normally pink associated with the Porsche, of course, the pink Porsches. race Le Mans and got revived a few years ago, that livery. A Rothmans inspired livery. Of course, had to omit the Rothman. Oh, wow, a bit loose and Larry there from Crowther, and that's allowed mold through. And Ronenberg, where he's carried much more momentum, but here comes Hussein. We're going to go 3 wide, and somehow they all make it through. I do not know how, but Hussein, what a move from him. A 2-for-1 deal. Down into Redmond corner. Spectacular overtake from him. So he looks to claw his way back up through the field. He's desperate to make this 2 wins from 2 and to really stamp his authority on the championship so early on. As we're out onto lap 4 already. Quarter race distance complete. Lovesley leads from Alpha Henderson. Walters in 3 podium positions. John Brown 4th. Alexander, Brian, Mould, Hussein, Ronenberg and Crowther, Ranier. The top 10. Yes. Just trying to see what has happened too. There's got a bit of change for positions going on here down in the midfield. Mayat's already up 13 places and well, trying to get up the road and get after Cox, who's up in 16th place. To try to regain that place from him. Of course, Mayat, one of the victims on that lap 1 incident. There's a bit of weaving, a bit of a snake forming down the back straight, trying to break the slipstream. Something's happened. Oh, no, that's Ronenberg. He is off in the hairpin. How has he managed that? As it's gone from bad to worse from him. And within the blink of an eye, it's all happening here. Something's happened between Cugley and I think Brown here. So there is Paul Cugley. So he comes onto the brakes, and is that Al Brown? Oh, hits him from behind, and the BMW pointing at an awkward angle and using the wall there just to turn himself around a bit and get off and running again. What that does now mean is this battle, all over 15th, has suddenly intensified here, being led by Linton, Cugley. The battle backs up on screen for you. Dudley in there, McCain and Brown in there too, as McCain dropping a couple of places, make that even potentially 4. Just got pushed out wide, and it's so hard to get back onto your line, and that's where it costs you so dearly. Especially when the field is so close and evenly matched here. Down to the back straight we go. Who is going to come out on top? On the run down to Atwood. Let's find out. One long stream of cars as losing on that part. It's a glitch with the cameras. It's in the part we want to, but it's Cugley really on the defensive right now. As we head through Revolver. Trying to get the best possible exit. Ronenberg down in 22nd now after that spin. In fact, let's see if we can pick up exactly what happened to him. Oh, so he's been involved in an incident, and that's why he's as down as far as he is. Which makes a bit of sense now. Oh no, that was a Porsche on the inside there. That's Derek Crowther. Something's happened to Crowther. Another one with a great start, and it's all happening right now. But this guy's the man on the move, the 007 Aston Martin of Hussein. Up into 6th. And hunting down the McLaren of John Brown ahead of him. Fastest lap. Last time around for Hussein, 1:34.4. The only driver in the 1:34s. The next closest to him is a 1:35.1 by Fraser Alexander. It's 2 positions up the road. So that is the sort of pace that Hussein is setting right now. And nobody else around him seems to have an answer. Versal all the way down in 21st. There he is. Was Ronenberg just ahead of him? There's more action between these guys in this midfield battle. McCain and Brown swapping places. Al Brown ahead of him. Ryan Dudley right in the mix of this as well. Trying to find a way past Cugley. 15th. It's on to the brakes. It's all running a bit wide, and there's been a bit of contact in the background. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if we've got a wide enough camera angle to cover all this lot. Just how close they are. It's hard to know where to look. There's Dudley just, a bit of the mind games coming in. Cugley running it a bit wide, and now what can Dudley do? Can he find a way past? We're right on board with Ryan Dudley right now as he hunts down Cugley in that BMW. Definitely taking a tighter line, and look at the drive he's got out of the first corner on the run up towards Williams. He is filling the mirrors of Cugley right now. Is that going to be the move done? Cugley's going to have the inside line into Atwood, turn 4. What can he do? He shuts the door, and there's contact between the pair of them. It's all ended in tears. They're both into the wall at Atwood, and that's going to be game over for the pair of them. Oh, such a disappointment. That was, oh, and that looks like broken suspension maybe. So all that's been going on. I'll tell you what, Hussein's managed to pick up a place as well. He's now managed to get past John Brown. He's up into 5th place. Now, next up is Fraser Alexander. 9 tenths up the road, and you can see just how hard Hussein is pushing right there. Kicking up the grass, using all the track and a little bit more out onto the grass. Leaving everyone in his wake right now. As Alexander and Walters having a battle down into turn 1. Can Alexander make his way past Walters? This is all over 3rd position right now. Alexander can't quite get the move done, but this is just reeling them back into Hussein. We've now got a freeway fight over that last podium place. Walters in the Porsche, the 2 Astons of Alexander, and Hussein is Alexander looks for a way right round the outside. Can he get the move done? He's holding on. I think he's just going to run out of adhesion there. But he's now tucked up right underneath Walters. Once again, as Walters goes defensive to the inside. Who's going to come out on top? Hussein looming in the background. Heads across onto the racing line. Knows these two are going to be compromised. Into the back of Walters goes Hussein. And somehow they merge out the other side exactly how they were. But all Alexander's wide. That's gifted the position to Hussein. Is Alexander going to lose a place to Brown as well? No, he's not, as Hussein is now wide. This is chopping and changing left, right, and centre. Alexander says, thank you very much. I'll have that place back from you. And Craig Walters right now is saying, well, you lot just sort yourselves out. I'm off up the road, and has pulled out 7 attempts over these 3 right now, as now Hussein under a whole world of pressure from Brown. And this has brought Mould right back into the equation, as now he's on the attack. As it twos and throws, we ride on board with Dan Mould of Dan 80 Racing. A much better exit than Brown out of the last corner. The drag race down to 1, turn 1, the first corner. And is Mould gonna do it? I'm not sure, because look at how Brown is holding on, and he's gonna give himself the inside line into turn 2 Williams. And that is the move done, or is it not secured once again? It's on the inside line. It is Brown, but Mould is holding on where others haven't been able to run the outside of Atwood. So they head down the back straight. Mould on the right screen. Brown on the left. He's going to have the inside, as Hussein has made it past Alexander. As Ronenberg's had another incident out on track as Mould makes his way through. That is Brown dispatched off. He needs to get up the road to Alexander. We've got 6 minutes left on the clock in race 2. Here we go. Don't go anywhere, because this is getting interesting. It's getting tasty. It's getting more spicy than a Friday night curry, this one. Let's take a look at Hussein getting past Alexander, and just made it look like child's play in the end. Alexander is no slouch himself. Take a bow, Hussein there. As we come in towards the closing stages, Lovesley leads. There's Hussein going against Walters there. So Lovesley leads over Alpha Henriksen. It's only 8 tenths of a second between those two. Walters holding on for dear life right now to that last podium position over Hussein. He's overtaking, climbing places left, right and centre since the green flag. Alexander 5th, Mould 6th, Brown 7th, 8th is Brian Patton 9th, Fraser Gerrity, great drive from him, he's at 7 places into 10th. There's Hussein playing the mind games with Walters right now. So we have got 5 minutes remaining of racing. And this could go absolutely any way as Hussein is on the inside. Surely this is going to be the podium place for him. But Walters says, no, you don't. You don't have it that easy. And gives him a little nudge just to remind him that he's still there. And he's going to hold on. Is he round the outside? No, he isn't. And that is Hussein ahead into Redmond. That's 2.7 seconds up the road to Donny Alpha Henriksen. That is the tall order in 4 minutes to claw that back. He's lapping a solid second a lap. Is Hussein quicker than Alpha Henriksen and Lovesley? But I think it might be just a little bit too late for him. As I tell you what, just all while this has been going on quietly about his business, Anthony Meyer has climbed from the back of the grid in 30th up to 12th, up 18 places. I tell you what, some leagues, they don't even have 18 drivers in them, let alone the ability to climb 18 places. This is McCain locked in with Linton, Brown and Fertel on the brakes, having a look up the inside there of McCain. He's going to squeeze his way through, but where it cuts back the circuit into Williams, turn 2. Not going to be able to hold on to that one. As, oh no, something's happened to Mould. Oh no, right at the depth. What has happened to him? Has he got a bit too much curb? Has he caught the gravel on the outside? Yes, he had. He's kept his foot in it. And as he came back onto the track, it was game over for him on what was looking like a solid result in race 2. It's all undone by his own undoing. There's Mould now being overtaken. There's Stevenson. About to stick the knife in, the Porsche driver. The Porsche Cayman just looks so skinny now compared to all the other GT4s. You see it from the front end. So Mould having a good fight back, not letting Stevenson just get away with that one quite as easily. As we see Fertel and McCain. Round 2. Well, what we've seen, they've been having a good go at each other for quite a while now. As well, Brown getting a little bit loose and Larry there out of the last corner. Moves across to go defensive and try and cover off McCain and Fertel coming through like a freight train and make it as hard for them as possible. But it's a case of where does he look? Left, right, and that is McCain going to be up a place and Fertel looking to follow him through. Can he get the move done? Well, he's on the inside, on the exit of the corner, but that's going to put him on the outside into Atwood. This might not be where he wants to be right now. Needs to look for the switchback out of the final corner. So out of Atwood. That's far away from the final corner so he can get on the circuit. It's defensive lines coming in these closing stages as Jenkins there trying to make a... Yeah, he's made a move, in fact, on Gerrity. Great move from him to get himself up place in these closing stages. And made great advances, Jensen's in race 1, but only up 9th place. He's in 9th place, which is where he started the Welshman Training Racing. You see Walters' white flag is in the air. 1 lap left remaining here of round 1 at Okayama in race 2. And Walters now trying to hold on to a 4th place over Alexander. Now, Hussein is he's probably a bit too far around the lap. He's a second away from Alpha Henriksen. Now, as the late great Murray Walker said, catching people is one thing, getting past them is something completely altogether different. And time might have run out for Hussein. Should he want to get himself up into 2nd place? But he's going to give it a good go. And all it takes is a battle from Lovesley and Alpha Henriksen, like what we're seeing right now as Walters defensive on the inside into the chicane. It's definitely been the power play move. Just to squeeze your opponent out wide. That keeps you held on to that position. It's McCain. It's getting past Linton there, but I'll tell you what, Ferton, we're going to have a free wide down the back straight. And this can't surely end too well. We've seen it before as Fertel squeezes way past, and Al Brown loses 2 places, maybe even a 3rd. Wow. So it's Gary Linton even, sorry. Mark Brown having to check up there, but as they come around the last corner for the final time with the flash of the light. Lovesley takes the victory here for Aston Martin in race 2. Alpha Henriksen in 2nd. Hussein, well, look how close he got. Within half a second at the line. An amazing drive from him. Just trying to pick up a few more battles across the line. I think Fertel's going to be that little bit too far back from McCain. McCain, a great drive from him. He's at 13th place, but not as good as Anthony Meyer. There he is. With Steve Cox in picture, those two are 19 places and 17 places, respectively. They've worked together. A flash of the lights from Cox there. That's what we like to see. It's long go trying to get past Stevenson across the line. He's not going to be able to do it, I don't think. He's going to run out of momentum. Wow. What a race 2. First grid, we know it brings the action. And it's been proved once again. But congratulations. There they all are, down the back straight. Andrew Lovesley. What a drive from the Aston Martin driver. Impeccable from start to finish. But you've got to give a big shout to Hussein as well. A great drive. Since the field was so spaced out as well, to finish in 3rd and pick up the last podium place. Bit of a challenge to do a bit of a power slide in a car that's got traction control and ABS. What's these cars designed around gentleman racers? Lots of assists to make it as easy for them as possible. But wow, love to hear from you in the chat, just whilst the drivers coming around to complete their cool down lap. Mr. Doko, Giga drive from Nav. I don't think not many of us can dispute that whatsoever. Now, don't forget to, if you like what you've seen, give us a little like. It just helps with the YouTube algorithm. But also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you get notifications every time we go live here at SRL on YouTube. It'd be great to see you in the chat regularly. So many of you chatting along. Steffi saying, oh no, lots of death. Well, there wasn't places, but not the whole way through. And congratulations to yourself. I've been keeping one eye on your TikTok accounts and your YouTube. Good to see you picking up a lot of followers. Congratulations to you, man. I know you put a lot of hard work and effort into that one. So good on you. Jamie Dangle saying, good drive, Nav. It's a lot of love coming in for Nav. Mr. Doki saying, yeah, got to shout at your teammate. You have. You've got to look after your teammates. But, wow, what a race 2. Full of drama. Spice to the brim, this one. But let's see if we can, there we go. Yes, we can drag you through some results from race 2. So there is your confirmation. Andrew Lovesey taking the second victory of the season, the first reverse grid race. Bloody Alpha Emerson, 8 tenths behind him for Northside Racing in the end, in second place for Mercedes. And Naveed Hussein, we've mentioned the love in the chat for him, but third place, up 12 places, your race 1 winner. What a way to kickstart your season. 2 podiums from the first 2 races. And to be fair, he was only half a second at the line to Alpha Henriksen. Let's not forget, he started that final lap about 1.3 seconds down, so that's a good recovery from him. Craig Walters in 4th for SRL. Alexander 5th with Brown, Brian, Patton, Jenkins and Geraghty. They're going to round out your top 10. Now, these, I tell you what, for drivers of the day, I think these two have pulled it out of the bag. 2 Mercedes drivers. Anthony Mayat in 11th and Steve Cox up 19 and 17 places, respectively. That's right, 19 and 17 places they gained into 11th and 12th. Alan McCain, Team Matrix, he finishes in 13th for Arthur Fertel. Not the race 2 that he would have hoped for. Finishes in 14th. Then it's the 2 Northern Iron Racing drivers. They finished together in race 1. They finished together in race 2. Linton and Brown, 15th and 16th respectively for those 2. Al Brown finishes in 17th. Neil Stevenson of Alien Motorsports, he's into 18th place, with 19th going to Alexandre Longo and Daniel Lewis, the 2 McLaren drivers, going to round out your top 20. Dan Mould, well, that spin at the end, that's what cost him so dear. He would have been well inside the top 10 in the end. Has to settle for 21st. Wareham is 22nd and John Johnson in 23rd, the last driver to finish on the lead lap. David Smith in the McLaren for SRL in 24th, and the last of the runners as Smith, we lost. No, sorry, James, apologies, Elliot James in the McLaren, we lost him all the way back on lap 9. The drivers managed to get 13 laps here. Lap 8, Eric Ronenberg retired. Disappointing for him. He'll be looking for a bit of redemption next time out. Derek Crowther, after running strong, we lost him on lap 6. Likewise, we lost Dudley and Cugley as well. Nice bit of alliteration between those 2. I know the Ryan Dudley fan club would be a bit disappointed by that one. And Toby Steve, we lost him on lap 5 as well. Wow. Let's see if we can have a bit of a chat to some of our drivers. First up, let's have a bit of a chat to, I think, Naveed Hussein, who, wow, what a drive from him. A victory and a 3rd place. Naveed, welcome along to the commentary booth. I mean, you couldn't ask for a much better way to kickstart your season, really, could you?
Yeah, it was a good race. There 2 good races. Yeah, what can I say? It all went to plan. Yeah, the pace between like all the guys at the front of the field is really close. So it's you know it's like you're swinging digs every lap. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and especially that reverse 15 race. Like, my heart was in my mouth for most of it. It's just full on attrition. Yeah, I really enjoyed myself tonight.
Yeah, it definitely seemed that way. I mean, we had a few retirements to boot, but I mean, you were by far and away at one point the fastest driver on the circuit. I think it was about midway through, you were 2nd quicker than anyone else. I mean, what accredited to your pace here today? I mean, is it just you're really at one with the Aston Martin, or just a bit of luck, or a bit of everything, really?
I think the Aston is the quickest car around Okayama, probably by maybe 2 or 3 tenths over some of the other cars. So that definitely contributed to it. I know when Arthur had a bit of a problem in the 2nd race. Like, he's been so close, like, on pace. He's like right up there. Like, it depends on who gets a good lap of who's going to come out quicker. So it was just unfortunate he had a little spin in the 2nd hairpin at the end of the track. But yeah, I don't know. I practiced a lot. I must have done over 500 laps for this event already. So yeah, I'll put it down to that.
Definitely. Practice makes perfect and all that. Obviously, next time out, bit of a different, well, I say a bit of a different, certain elements which are similar in some ways. Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix circuit. Looking forward to that one?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite tracks. I like Brands. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, I'll probably put in another 500 laps for that as well.
Just to move for a good measure. Before we let you go, Naveed, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Yeah, all the league organisers. Big shout out to all those guys for putting it on, and big shout out to yourself for the commentary. And thanks to my family watching at home. Hello, everybody. Thanks very much.
Uh, Congratulations with a victory and a third place here today. That's Naveed Hussein. But let's have a bit of a chat to another one of our drivers. Next up, we have got for you Arthur Turtle, who, well, what can we say? It's been a bit of a mixed bag for him, definitely here at Okayama. Podium, well, second place to be precise in race 1, but it didn't seem to quite go right for you in race 2.
No, the first race I tried to just keep Naveed as honest as possible. I knew he was going to be quick, but I think he looked after the tyres slightly better than what I did. I was just pushing as hard as I could. The second race, that was my fault. I was desperate to try and get past the car on my inside before the right-hander because I didn't want to be on the outside. And yeah, I just lit the rear tyres up too much. I don't think I took Daniel and Naveed. I don't think I affected their race too much in the end. I'm not sure.
No, well, certainly didn't affect Naveed's and Dan's was, well, it was just one of those things, seeing on the screen right now, the slight incident that you had, and wow, it's one of those things, isn't it? Cold tyres, opening lap, it's so tricky, and it does happen occasionally. But let's talk about more positives. Race 1, second place. I mean, surely you've got to be happy with that one, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I was well happy with that. I was the first few laps I was keeping up with Naveed. Okay, I think there was I had to take the outside line on turn 1, and I just dropped out of his toe one lap, and that was it. I could just see the distance away creeping up 1 or 2 tenths each lap, and then I think after about lap 9 or 10, my car just did the tyres. I just overheated them too much.
Definitely, so easy to take them out of them. Before we let you go, Arthur, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
I'd like to say thanks to Dan and John for organising the league. I think it's fantastic fun. It's the best racing I've ever had in iRacing.
I absolutely second that one. It definitely makes my job a lot easier when there's a lot of action and definitely a big grid. So, it's been incredibly well supported. 30 races for the opening round. You can't ask for much more than that. And, well, congratulations and commiserations at the same time. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time when we head to Brands Hatch.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you at Brands.
Definitely. Now, let's have a chat to another one of our drivers. We've got sat waiting by, and well, what a race 2. Now joined by Andrew Lovesley. Well, you can't ask for more than that, can you? Really, absolutely. It seemed like you absolutely controlled it. Race 2 from start to finish. Did it quite feel like that in the car?
Well, I was about to say you might maybe watching a different race to what I was seeing behind the wheel. Yeah, it was. Henriksen was keeping me honest. I said I was setting the best laps I've set all night in that race just to stay in front of him. So yeah, I was well chuffed. Obviously, it went wrong in race 1. The guys told me I had 5 minutes before, so I nipped out to the toilet and I came back, and next thing I know, I was in the pit lane. So so I started in the pit lane race 1. I just made it my mission to get to 15th, so I could start on pole really, and then I knew I might have a chance to sniff a good result in race 2.
I mean, it was a cracking, like you say, race 1. I did wonder why you hadn't quite made the start because it looked like it was all going well for you. But I mean, even so, to climb 15 places to get yourself up into 15th, that was still a commendable effort itself. And I mean, in some ways, if it did leave you sort of thinking of a bit of what could have been for race 1.
No, because I think like Naveed and Arthur and Dan and they had some great pace tonight. So I was pretty happy with getting a top 10 in quali, if I'm honest. I screwed up a couple of laps, but I'd have been happy with a top 10 finish in race 1. So I found race 1 a lot easier coming through the field. Like I threw a bit of caution to the wind. Obviously, race 2 out the front, it's a bit sketchy when you're leading and everyone's got some pace behind you. But yeah, held out in the end, so I'm well chuffed.
Well, you seem to really make it off the start line whereas in race 1 we saw the pack being backed right up until they crossed the line. For yourself, you seem to just go early. Was that just initially your intentions, just to try and catch everyone napping and just go for it straight out of the final corner, pretty much?
Well, I saw all the action unfold from the pit lane in race 1 for a start, so I saw everyone sort of crashing into the wall and stuff. But yeah, I was watching in the mirror and Ericsson to the side of me, and they sort of, as soon as I saw them back off slightly, I just hit the throttle. But I didn't plan on backing everyone up to the start finish line anyway, because it does normally cause chaos. So as soon as I saw a chance to go, I just went.
Definitely, and well, can you make it onto the podium next time out of Brands? I think that's the killer question.
Well, probably not. But yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good to get. That's the beauty of having a reverse grid in the second race, because it does. If you don't always have a great race in race 1, it does give you a chance in race 2, and the pace is so evenly matched across. I think there was less than a second separating the sort of top 15, 16 places in quali. So especially on this track as well, I think Brands is probably going to be similar. It's pretty tough to pass on. So we'll just see. Looking forward to it anyway. So
definitely. Before we let you go, Andrew, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend Dan, because I've got more points than him after round 1. So he's absolutely gutted. But no, apart from obviously John and Dan for setting the league up. It's always nice to race with the SRL boys. Been together for years now. And obviously the missus fast asleep now. I think my brother's watching, so shout out to Josh. But yeah, no, thank you very much. Looking forward to watching it back.
Definitely, and good luck for next time out of Brands. We'll see you then. That's Andrew Lovesley with a victory here today in race 2. But wow, what a race. It's been an absolute barnstormer yet again in this championship. What can we say, really? What can we say? I don't know, I'm lost for words, really. We've seen some absolutely belting racing here in Okayama. And I think 2 very different races, 2 different winners. That's always great to see. 2 different manufacturers as well. Think of what could have been, but we've still got a long season ahead of us. Let's not forget, we've still got 5 rounds with 2 races each, so that's 10 more races for the drivers to compete in. And of course, different cars suit different circuits. That is the beauty of GT racing. Let's not forget. Who's going to come out victorious next time? Get the feeling, Hussein, with what has been a pretty dominant stamp on this championship so far here in race 1. If this is anything to go by, it's got to be your early favourite, really. It's definitely the man to beat in that Aston Martin. Can he be beaten? Well, we're going to find out in 2 weeks' time when we head to Okayama. I've been Tim Cox. Thanks very much for joining. Don't forget to hit like and also subscribe so you know when we go live here at SRL. But from the SRL Friday Night GT4 League. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we are live from Brands Hatch. Goodbye.